Islam came to the region of East Africa during the lifetime of the Prophet, peace be upon him, when some of his companions went to Abyssinia after being persecuted by the idol worshippers of Arabia. These Muslims met the Christian king of Abyssinia known as Najashi, who was amazed by the religion and converted to Islam. During this period, the first mosques were constructed in the continent of Africa, such as the Najashi Mosque in modern-day Ethiopia and the Sahaba Mosque in modern-day Eritrea. During the Rashidun and Umayyad Caliphates, Islam continued to spread in East Africa through merchants and preachers from the Arabian Peninsula. One of these Arab migrants was Ibn Hisham al-Makhzumi, who established the first Islamic kingdom in East Africa, known as the Makhzumi dynasty, which ruled much of modern-day Ethiopia. Islam continued to spread in East Africa during the Abbasid period through the efforts of scholars such as the Arab preacher known as Ishaq bin Ahmed, who contributed to spreading Islam in much of modern-day Somalia and Ethiopia. Islam in East Africa continued to flourish during the next few centuries, which produced great East African Muslims such as the 14th century Somali traveler known as Sayyid bin Maqdishu, who wrote detailed accounts of his travels to Arabia, India, and China. During the 15th century, more powerful Islamic kingdoms emerged in the region, such as the Adal Sultanate, which ruled over much of modern-day Somalia, Djibouti, and Ethiopia. The Adal Sultanate had a thriving economy and exported gold and ivory to Arabia, Persia, Egypt, and India. It reached its peak during the reign of Sultan Ahmed bin Ibrahim al-Ghazi, who established relations with the Ottoman Empire in order to protect the Muslims of East Africa from the Christian Ethiopian Empire, which had allied with the Portuguese against the Sultanate. The Adal Sultanate began to collapse after the death of Sultan Ahmed, when the Ethiopians managed to conquer the Sultanate. After the collapse of the Adal Sultanate, the Ottomans created a new ally in East Africa, which was the Funj Sultanate in Sudan. However, the Funj Sultanate was not as powerful as the Adal Sultanate. Despite the decline of powerful East African Muslim kingdoms, Islam continued to spread in other regions of East Africa, such as the Swahili coast in modern-day Tanzania. In the year 1696, after receiving letters from the Muslims of the Swahili coast, the Omani navy, led by Saif bin Sultan al-Ya'rubi, expelled the Portuguese from the region and established Muslim rule on the Swahili coast, which became a part of the Omani Empire. During their rule, the Omanis created a flourishing civilization on the Swahili coast, which became a major center of the ivory industry. These prosperous conditions attracted migration from Arabia, India, and Persia. Islamic kingdoms in East Africa began to collapse in the 19th century, when the region was invaded by European Christian powers such as the British and Italian empires.
midkaan ka midownayo masalkiisa si aanan gaarino marjicaan masalada ula noqdo asalaam calayka ya rasuul